It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 11th. Good morning. First things first, this is important. Jamal Mitchell's funeral is today. The Minneapolis police officer who was killed late last month on May 30th. His memorial service is at 11 a.m. And you can tune into CBS News Minnesota on Pluto TV or the CBS News app if you want to watch that. There will be, as I said, an 11 a.m. memorial at Maple Grove Senior High School. There will be a flyover ceremony. Public seating is open at 9 a.m. There is a procession this afternoon. It's scheduled to start at 2:10, beginning on Fernbrook Lane. It will then progress to 93rd Avenue, Maple Grove Parkway, eastbound 94, eastbound 494, eastbound Highway 62, finishing at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. People can pay respects from streets running parallel to the highways as well on overpasses. If you have the opportunity to do so, it does mean an awful lot. Jamal Mitchell, by all accounts, was a wonderful man and a fine officer. And that is the very least we could possibly do to pay some respects. We will now get on to the nonsense, but I felt like we needed to start the day with that information. All right. Okay, it's June 11th. Father's Day is this week. We're going to be playing a game we started yesterday. We're playing all week. Fatherly Aptitude Test, F.A.T., not the S.A.T. But it got me thinking. What did your parents do, or what do you do as a parent that you know annoys your kids? Or what did your parents do that annoyed you? I've mentioned this before. My dad was a whistler.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you picked up a dish rag to dry a pot in a pan, it'd be...
Yeah.
You know, as soon as he started doing anything, he'd say, let's go sweep out that car park. You know, and you're like, what, dude, seriously, the whistling.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he raised a bunch of whistlers because we hated it, and then we all do it. We have to be told by other people, stop whistling, for God's sakes. There are the things that our parents do that drive us nuts, or, you know, that we do as parents. The one that got me, I just was reading a bunch of comments. I can't tell my parents any secrets. They're the topic of the next big family gathering. That I never had that experience. My family had the cone of silence. It was just like stay in the whatever we say, stay. I can't imagine my parents just blabbing about stuff going on behind closed doors. Maybe it's not so healthy to have everything be top secret. You know, there's lines. Yeah. But that was always kind of the thing with us. But holy smokes, my dad always... And, of course, I raised my kids the same way. Going to the airport, got to get there way ahead of time.
Yeah.
Don't mess around. The airport speed, airport legs, walk, move. Not that I ever went to the airport with them, but I was told all the time, this is how you travel. Don't mess around. Most people think they're at the zoo. You're there on business. Get to the gate. All this crap. And I just grew up doing all the same stuff.
Yeah, you know, you're right. The thing that my dad annoyed... and always annoyed me, still annoys me, that I never adopted was he goes everywhere 50 miles an hour.
Oh, God.
Everywhere. Now, we don't have any interstates in South Dakota. In fact, we live out on gravel roads, and then there's the hardtop, unmarked hardtop, and that sort of thing. And then you get out on Highway 281, and you're off to Huron, South Dakota, the big metro. But it's a gas-saving thing. He's a very frugal, I say cheap. He doesn't like the word cheap, but he's cheap as hell. And frugal, and he's had to be, you know, a dirt farmer, not a pot to piss in growing up. They're doing well now. But, you know, he had to be. He just didn't have much money. So, but everywhere I was growing up, 50 miles an hour. And all I want to do, it's South Dakota. Every road's as straight as a preacher, and it goes on forever.
Right.
I mean, you just hammer down. I had a car that didn't even hit overdrive till 90 miles an hour. Something wrong with the transmission, and finally blew up on me. But, it drove me crazy. Still does it. But now he's, you know, well into his 70s, and it sort of makes sense. But when you're growing up, embarrassing if Dad would pick you up from, you know, he'd pick my friends and I up to give us a ride somewhere, and they'd all just be looking at me. I'm like, we're topped out here, boys and girls.
You know, one one of my closest friends, my age, he grew up with that same dad, and he adopted it. He sets the cruise control at 65 on a cross-country drive, and his wife and kids want to die. Yeah. 65, he's like, and he's pushing it to get to 65. Yeah, no. He's just like, it's just not safe. The studies say if you keep it under 60, I mean, and they're just like, oh my God.
We drive out to, Pennsylvania every summer for a few weeks to spend some time back with that family back there, and he would hit but that was 55, that was the 70s. We had that 55 speed limit, and he'd be the guy going 55 out on the interstate, maddening. No, I didn't adopt that. In fact, I went the other way. I double the speed limit everywhere I go.
That's what you got to do.
Exactly, double it.
What about it, Tony?
Similar to Zeb, I have not adopted the trait because of how crazy my dad was. Extremely stressful. I'm not. I'm very zen
the opposite,
and super cautious. The worst incident, I had just got a new bike. It's beautiful, like French 10-speed that I've been saving up for.
Yeah.
And I came out one day, and he was in the garage, and he was covering pretty much the entire bike, the frame and the pedals and the handlebars, with reflective tape. I was like, Dad, what are you doing?
It's a new look, man.
You want to get into an accident? Someone's going to hit you, and it's the one time that I got furious at my dad, and I called him an asshole.
Oh,
it was a huge. I had never done that since.
How old were you?
And I was a teen.
Anthony Lee.
Yeah, I was in high school, but oh my God, my beautiful new bike.
They didn't put like a traffic vest on you or anything like that?
He would have. And he would engrave. There was like this thing called Operation Identification where you could engrave like a number into your possessions, and somehow they'd be identified. And my TV had it. Yeah. My bike. All my gear, he would engrave like this.
Oh my God!
Do you realize if it was 2024 when you were raised, you'd have a chip in you?
Yeah.
My dad was very, very hard ass, a lot of tough love, but at the same time, you had to say goodnight. Like, you never just got went to bed. You had to go in and say goodnight to my parents every night. It was not even a consideration that you would just walk upstairs and go to bed. And that's how we were in our house. And if you're leaving to go anywhere, you just say, hey, I'm taking off, got to go. I mean, there's always, so when the kids started driving, like my son would just get up and walk out of the house. I'd be like, where's he going? He wouldn't say anything. And I would go out, I'd stop him at his car and go, hey, that's not how this works.
That's right.
And then he was just like, what's the big deal? I'm just going. And I finally said, like, listen, man, someone's going to walk out of the house one day and they're not coming back. How do you want that to be the last? And as I'm saying that, he's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, that's a little heavy. My bad. Hang on, I'm going a little deep here. But that's what it was. It was like, hey, man, you just got to say I'm going somewhere.
You want to know.
Yeah. And he just looked at me and he didn't call me an asshole, but boy, he wanted to.
Wouldn't the last goodbye be the last goodbye, the one before that? Well, that would be the last goodbye.
I never thought of that. I should have rethought that whole thing.
No.
Well, there's plenty. I'm sure. The more you open that door, the more you start thinking about it and realize, like, my kids were just nice enough not to call me names. I was driving them crazy. Not the SAT, but the F.A.T. Father Aptitude Tests, round 1 with the Zeps coming up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Zeb. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Now, I say take the day off and go to Marcus Theaters. Today's Tuesday. It's $6 Tuesday at all Marcus Theaters. $6. Get you into any Marcus Theater to see any movie you want to see. I got some scoopage for you today. Starting it off, you may have heard that Julia Louis-Dreyfus has all been out of shape at her former co-star, Jerry Seinfeld, because Jerry said comedy has been ruined by everybody being forced to be so politically correct and general wokeness. Well, here's the truth of the matter. The truth is, Jerry Seinfeld and Julia Louis-Dreyfus didn't get along all that well during the 9 years of Seinfeld. Jerry actually was closer to Michael Richards. Jason Alexander wasn't close to anybody, often complaining that he didn't get enough lines, the way his character was being portrayed, not enough close-ups. Yeah, we needed more close-ups of Jason Alexander. I'm not surprised that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is taking shots at Jerry Seinfeld, and for the record, I'm taking Jerry Seinfeld's side. Boy, this next item is just tragic. Just tragic. Christina Applegate says that she does not enjoy life anymore. This, of course, due to the mental health and physical issues as she fights her MS. I first met Christina Applegate in 1987 when she was just 16 years old. Now, 52 years old, Christina uses a wheelchair, is in a lot of pain. Christina Applegate, just a sweetheart. It's just such a sad story. TV news. Hey, I'm very excited about Paul Giamatti coming to the little screen in a series that originated from the 2005 big screen terrorizing thriller, the horror movie, Quentin Tarantino's film, Hostel. I think it's going to be incredible. Coming, I hear, to Netflix. Oh, by the way, Paul Giamatti is also going to be very, very busy. He's shooting Hostel at the same time that he's shooting the third Downton Abbey movie. I say he's going to have his plate full. For me, Paul Giamatti is one of the best actors in Hollywood. However, I did not get along with Paul's dad, Bartlett Giamatti, who was the commissioner of baseball for only 5 months before dying of a heart attack. But during those 5 months, Giamatti spent all of his time banning Pete Rose from baseball. Steve, I'd be anxious to hear if you agree. Oh, that brings me to my final nugget. I am reminded by a friend about one of baseball's weirdest stories ever. 67 years ago today, Philadelphia Philly star Richie Ashburn hit a foul ball that struck spectator Alice Roth. And while she was being carried off on a stretcher, Ashburn hit her again with another foul ball. I don't make this stuff up, folks. Hey, have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
It is now time to look back. On this day, June 11th, 1997, one of the most famous Michael Jordan games ever, the flu game. Game 5 of the 97 NBA Finals. He has 103 temperature, dehydrated, exhausted, nausea. He scores 15 of his team's 23 points in the final quarter to beat the Jazz. They go home. Pippen has to carry him off the court. We all remember. But wait, there's more. Years later, it comes out he didn't have the flu. He ate a bad pizza the night before. It was food poisoning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got poisoned by the pizza delivery guy.
That's what they say. Well, one thing leads to another. I still say he was probably just hungover.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, June 11th. The word of the day, dehiscence. Dehiscence, which is spelled like dehiscence. Dehiscence. This is the reopening. Yeah, thank you. This is the reopening of a surgical wound. Ooh. It's about to get weird.
All right.
This is something that happens in 3 out of about every 100 people who undergo abdominal or pelvic surgeries.
All right.
Because they sew you back up and then you make a weird sudden move or,
I had one, yeah.
Really?
An abdominal surgery. Yeah, the double hernia.
Oh, but did you suffer dehiscence? Did it reopen?
It did not reopen,
okay.
But I was a little worried about it, because every time I would cough, I cough a lot, and I'm a violent cougher. Right. I really throw everything into it. I like to kind of launch.
It's probably how you got the double hernia.
That's not how I got the double hernia, but anyway, I was working out, which I eradicated from my life. I got rid of that.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah, I was really worried it was just going to pop right open.
You're coughing. It's like Duff Beer, the cause of and solution to all of our problems.
All of life's problems.
But a 63-year-old man in Florida was having a meal at a diner, and he started coughing. And at the same time as a cough, he sneezed, which when I was a kid, that was a challenge. Can you burp, sneeze, and cough and fart all at the same time?
The triple.
And so we would, the 4. You want to add the fart in there. We'd be going for all of it.
Gotcha.
It was just a thing we used to discuss. But anyway, this man sneezed and coughed at the same time, and he suffered a quick dehiscence. Again, the reopening of a surgical wound. But more than just the reopening, His colon fell out.
What the heck? What?
He lifted up his shirt. Several inches of his colon were coming out of the wound.
What?
Paramedics were called. Yes.
I'm going to have to Google where the colon is. I thought that was your butthole.
The paramedics said when they opened, they found a 3-inch opening with a, quote, large amount of bowel visible through. The blood loss was minimal.
Check.
No damage to the exposed organ.
Well, looky
He was
here.
taken to the hospital. Surgeons put the bowel back into his abdomen, sewed him up, and he seems like he's going to be okay.
Put the bowel back in the abdomen, mister.
I need one of those butterfly bandages.
There aren't enough antibiotics to make me trust that I'm not going to, sorry, man. You'd have to, do you know how much Neosporin I would demand for that?
Yeah,
Copious
right?
amounts.
I mean, you just got to hold that in there while you're out. They rush you to the hospital. Yeah. The old colon fell out.
I mean, we all say things like, I hacked up a lung. This guy is literally going to be sitting around at Christmas going, did I tell you about when I coughed and sneezed out my colon?
And I got a date tonight. Darn the luck.
Okay, so they put it back in. They tuck it back in there. They run the needle and thread through it a couple more times, or the staples, whatever they're using. How nervous are you when you have to cough again?
So nervous. My God.
And then the more you think about it, the more you have to cough. I have to cough now just thinking about it.
If this guy had gone to school with me and my brothers, as we were the unofficial nickname bestowers of our school, his nickname from that day forward would have been Blow.
Oh,
colon blow.
Would have been real simple.
Colon blow, yeah.
What's up, Blow? Why do you guys call him Blow? You're not going to believe this.
Have you seen the movie Blow?
That's it. Yeah, well, pretty much.
No, yeah, that's God dang it. I thought there might have been a shark involved or something like that, but the colon popped out.
That is a perfect story for a Tuesday, because Tuesday being as it is the runt of the week, we like to call it Unfun Fact Day around here. Let's share some more unfun facts.
Unfun. Not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
Entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun
Facts. Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
Oh, we've got some unfun facts for you. Don't think we're coming here empty-handed. How about this? Ancient Rome, notoriously, of course, had some pretty gruesome execution methods. One was called scaphism. A person would be force-fed milk and honey, and then covered in milk and honey, put into a swamp to be slowly eaten alive by maggots and worms.
Oh.
Hey!
Wow. I mean, they had order. They had order, Maybe they could use a little bit of that today. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely one of those things that if you hear about that happening and it really should have only had to have happened once to make sure nobody else did the same crime.
I'm not taking the Caesar's name in vain, that's for sure, if that's on the table.
How about this? There are, and I know some people who are a little nervous around elevators and escalators.
Oh, yeah.
Every year in the U.S., about 30 elevator and escalator deaths.
Yeah, there was a guy about a month ago, 71-year-old dude in Erie, Pennsylvania, went to step on the second floor elevator in the building in which he worked. Wouldn't you just don't you see the floor there? There was no elevator. It was being worked on. He plummeted a couple of stories to his death.
Was he looking at a phone? Was he just looking up?
I guess.
You never know.
Just distracted.
I will say this. I take it for granted. Elevator door opens. I just step in. 17,000 injuries also, by the way, every year.
And then the escalator story we did last year. It tore the woman's leg off at the airport.
Yeah, that's right.
Ripped it right off. Yeah.
That was
crazy.
They
had to amputate her leg in the airport.
In the airport, on the scene.
Yeah, on the scene.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm sorry. That was unfun. Holy smokes. What else have we got? There are 40 super volcanoes around the world that are not dormant. I mean, they are possibly able to blow at pretty much any time. Scientists looking at the 40 supervolcanoes say that the combined death toll, if they all blew, would be at least 1 billion people.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, Yellowstone, that's what Yellowstone is, a giant supervolcano. I believe that's the largest.
The Yellowstone caldera, is that what you mean?
Yeah, the largest, because it is an old volcano, but that's the largest deposit of magma. Is that it? Under the surface?
Now, it hasn't gone off in about 70 million years, but that doesn't mean it's not thinking about it.
No, we're in the destruction zone here in Minnesota for that sucker.
For sure.
When I was living out west, that was the red zone. That was, you won't even know what hit you.
We talked last week on Unfun Facts about beheadings. France for years had the guillotine, and they had people that studied that said people that are beheaded are still awake and conscious and sort of alert for a little while. Here's an unfun guillotine fact that kind of blows my mind more than anything else. France used the guillotine until 1977.
They did not.
Yes, they did.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, they did. The last guillotine use was in 77.
Yeah.
I mean, people were sitting there going, hey, man, did you see the Olympics in Montreal last year? Sure did. What a great performance. Anyway, cut that guy's head off. That's our lifetime. I remember 1977 very clearly. I was 12.
All right. Would you rather be, locked into the guillotine there in 1977 or strapped into old Sparky down there in Florida for your head to start on fire and your eyeballs to explode?
No, I'll take the guillotine.
Yeah. But that's crazy. How do they do it now? They probably don't have the death penalty in France now.
I don't think they do.
No.
I think they still have no problem sending you off to an island like in Papillon, and they'll just, it's a nice Caribbean. There's the ocean breeze. It's good for your skin.
Papillon.
Speaking of unfun facts, how about this one? If you were ever bitten by another person, by another human being,
fun. Yeah. Kinky.
If they break the skin, get to the hospital right away. The average person has enough deadly bacteria in their saliva and in their mouth. It could kill you if it enters your bloodstream.
I had a fight one time with Jim Leventhal, and he bit me in the hand, and I had to get a tetanus shot.
Yeah, that's my tattoo on the, which one is it? The one I got in the Army has got the bite mark on it. Some guy bit me in a frickin' fight. It was one of those bar fights. There's like 20 guys involved, and he just comes up and bites me on the arm. He didn't have any arms. He had like little flipper arms or something like that. Yeah, and he bit me on the shoulder.
He did what he had to do.
Not proud, but I was in a playground fight in elementary school, and I got jumped from behind, so I was at a disadvantage. Face down, kid on top of me, giving me a chokehold, and I had no choice but to go to the bite.
Yeah.
And then he jumped off me. It was like, he bit me, like it was bad sportsmanship.
It's a fight.
And my response was, no, I didn't. And he showed everyone the bite mark, and I said, that wasn't me.
Right, that was there.
Then I pulled his hair and ran.
That was already there. 1 out of every 50 people in the U.S. have a brain aneurysm. It just hasn't erupted yet.
Ooh.
Yeah,
so that's how my gramps went.
Man.
One of them.
Yeah, boy, that's that 1 out of 50. I mean, we all know 50 people. Just next time you're in a group, look around, start counting. It's that guy.
Yeah, as we do the unfun facts, you could fall down an elevator shaft. But he just walked in, said he had a headache, laid down on the bed, dead. It was quick.
Really?
It was quick anyway.
Instant.
Yeah, instant. Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad way to go, honestly.
Not really.
A real bad way to go, actually, is strap a vest to yourself full of explosives. Suicide bombers, they still exist. By the way, here's an unfun fact. Very easy to identify a suicide bomber post-mortem.
Really?
Yes, because the blast from the suicide vest or belt hits the base of the head in such a way that the head will just pop right off like a cork.
What?
They can always identify. When those guys blow themselves up, almost always the head removes whole and intact, boom, like a cork popping out of a bottle.
Oh, that's crazy.
What if that landed in your lawn?
So if Brody had gone through with it in the season 1 finale of Homeland, we would have known it was him.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, that first season, Homeland got real silly real fast, but boy, that first season was something.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
And if you had put that in the television show, people wouldn't have. They would have been, that's outrage. You can't have his head survive. But it's true. All right.
One more for you. Sea otters. Now, I have a thing with my daughter. I tell her all the time, otters are not your friend.
No.
Where she lives, there are river otters in Virginia. And I've seen them. She said, they're so cute. And I'm like, hey, they will rip your face apart. Do not go near otters.
Yep.
River otters, generally speaking, not as aggressive as the sea otter, if my research is correct.
Okay.
But sea otters, along the way, they will attack. They will kill. They will also... I hate to say it, they will rape and kill baby seals.
Whoa.
Sea otters are vicious. They are not the puppies of the sea. They are rampant murderers.
Oh, my God.
Cute.
What a
They're
psycho
brutal.
little cuties, aren't they? Jeez.
Oh, for cute. All right, you know what? I can't leave on that one. That's too much of a downer.
That's too unfun.
The average pair of underwear has 1/10 of a gram of poop. There, I said it. That's an unfun fact we can go out on feeling better about.
I think that's probably just an average, isn't it?
Comes with it.
I would imagine
it depends
so, sure.
Yeah, could be a lot more in some.
Hey, so there's your unfun facts for a Tuesday.
All right.
Oh, isn't that nice? Don't we all feel better now?
Yeah. Be sharing those at work later today.
Hey, no nonsense. This will make you feel better. The KQ Karaoke Cruise is back, baby. June 21st. That is 10 days from right now on Paddleford riverboats featuring 2 karaoke stages, drinks with the KQ crew, free food from Lucky's 13 Pub. Tickets on sale now at 92kqrs.com. Sponsored by Alexander Exteriors and Dennis Kirk. I think about that cruise and I just think Yahtzee. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it always is, yeah.
We don't say Yahtzee enough.
Let's
Yahtzee.
Hey, you want to say? Back. Hey, you want to say Yahtzee? Check this out. How about DoorDash? And how about DoorDash and edibles and THC beverages? That is a Yahtzee. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Van Halen with the Kinks, You Really Got Me. Van Halen was originally called Mammoth, and they were a cover band playing parties all around Southern California. And I think back to that, and I'm like, we've all seen like high school, just out of high school age guys in bands playing covers. But I mean, imagine being at a party in Pasadena in some kid's backyard in 1975 or 76, and Edward Van Halen is playing. And you're like, I think that kid's actually pretty good.
There is a YouTube video. I take it back. YouTube audio, because there's just a picture of them, but they're playing the concert from, I think, Pasadena High School. I don't know if it was a battle of the bands or they were just playing the school dance, but you're listening to them play, and there's a picture from that show, a black and white photo of them on stage, and David Lee Roth is doing the high leg kick, and Eddie's up there looking gorgeous, and you're listening to the audio, and I'm like, yeah, not the high school band, not the local band that played at Woolsey High.
No, not exactly.
You're pretty sure that you're like, why don't you guys go ahead and lip sync? Why don't you just put something else on and just air band this thing out? But Van Halen played your high school dance.
The only cover band in my hometown was called Hot Dancin'. Hot Dancin'. And it would be, you'd hear about them like, they play, oh man, Hoptown High's got Hot Dancin' at the prom. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Hot Dancin'.
Yeah, ours was Bandit was the local band, was the only one that would come in and play the hits. But I think the 5th grade teacher was the drummer, and who was the squarest guy in town. And it just...
There was go ahead, Tony. What?
Oh, the guys from The Time played one of my high school dances
in Minneapolis.
When they were Flight Time. Terry Lewis, Jimmy Jam, and
you guys.
Come on.
Before they were The Time,
They're spoiled in Minneapolis, man.
Yeah, high school dance.
I walked into into my school's gym one day, and there were all these like platforms just that were stacked up in a corner, and on the very top of them, like you would have to climb 10 or 12 feet up, was a full drum kit, like set up, cymbal, like a 10-piece drum kit. And I was like, oh my God, who is that? What the hell? And there was a teacher who was only at our school, I think, for 1 year, a guy named Mr. Rich. And I was just staring at the drum kit because I didn't play yet, always wanted to, obsessed with the drums. I'm looking at it, and he walks up behind me and goes, hey, checking out that kit. That's mine. And I was like, oh, really? He goes, yeah, do you play? I said, no, I kind of want to. And he goes, oh, and he didn't say, hop up there. He goes, oh, let me show you. And he climbed up and played himself. And this guy literally, and I'm thinking like, yeah, man, play some cool rock beats. And he was playing like salsa and samba beats, stuff that to this day is I could never, I don't understand. It was like all this off time, crazy syncopated. I was like, is that 2 different drummers up there playing? What the hell's happening?
Like Tito Puente.
It was, and he was doing it and going so hard, and right away he's sweating, and he was like it was a concert for one 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And at 12, I'm like, What a dork. I got to get out of here. I just walked away. I was like, and we never talked about it again. I never went up to him at school and said, hey, that was really cool. I was just like, well, you kind of made me never want to play drums. What are you doing? What is all that? Play some Zeppelin or something. What the hell's wrong with you?
I hope he opened his eyes and you were just gone. He was like,
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Another one. God, almost. He's like the most unsuccessful cool drum Venus flytrap ever. Keep running him off. Hey, so we've been talking for a good bit about the fact that, the weed is legal in Minnesota. It's next year at some point you're going to be able to buy straight up marijuana. But right now you can already now buy THC beverages. There are edibles that are available.
Low dosage
edibles
for beginners.
But how about this? You don't even have to get up and go anymore, because now DoorDash has entered the fray. DoorDash will bring you your beverages and edibles. Minnesota-based Nothing But Hemp offers delivery via DoorDash within a 12-mile radius of their stores. Whatever they have at Nothing But Hemp, you can DoorDash that stuff.
You know what else DoorDash will do? Stop and pick you up some grub on the way.
Isn't that nice?
I mean, that's brilliant. That's the old 1-2 punch. Yeah, so it's all 5-gram low dosage kind of stuff, although it's a bit of the Wild West out there. I know they're cracking down left and right out there on some of these places that have the higher dosage stuff. But, yeah, if you're willing to invest the time and really gobble down on some of this stuff.
I'd rather DoorDash bring me that stuff and then go get me food. Give me, come back in an hour.
Yeah, right.
Don't bring the food with it. Give me an hour.
Because you're going to eat it when they bring the food. Yeah. And then when it kicks in, you want to eat your edibles first and then eat the food. But, yeah, you want to, and then the edibles aren't going to kick in for a while, and then you're going to eat more food anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Give me a pause.
Yeah, DoorDash, go deliver the THC, hit a couple other deliveries, and then wheel back here in about an hour.
It is interesting to be old enough to remember the Old West, if you will. I remember, you think about the fact that we're living in the future that we would have never imagined possible 30 years ago.
Yeah.
First time I went to Los Angeles, 1990, there was a store called Pink Dot.
Yeah.
They delivered beer. That simple fact, I just looked at the flyer like, you mean they'll deliver beer?
Right.
How is that legal? How is that possible? That was like a moonshot to me.
Yeah.
I'm in this crappy hotel. We're paying, there's a blood stain on the wall. Our first, it was right there on Sunset Boulevard. It was the worst hotel I've ever stayed in my life. But I'm like, I could call this place a mile away and they'll bring me a 6-pack of beer. Right. I couldn't fathom how cool the world was.
I know.
And now it's like, just get some weed delivered right here.
Right.
Get some THC drinks and some gummies. Yeah, go for it.
I guess they did it here too in Minnesota, Tony. I don't know if you remember. There were a couple of liquor stores. I think Zippo would deliver. I know when I was in Boston, the Packy stores, or Zips. Was it Zips? Zippos, so. Listen to me. Zippo in the morning. Zips. But it was, there was one in Boston, and it was kind of cool. The package stores, that's what they called the liquor stores.
Yeah, package stores.
Yeah, the Packies. They would deliver as far as they would walk. In other words, they didn't drive and deliver it, but they would go in a 2 to 4 block radius, maybe it was, in any direction, and some kid would walk it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to have some
it's
kid.
Not bad.
It was 2 blocks. We didn't even want to walk 2 blocks. We're in our 20s, early 20s, but we had some kid hoof it down to us.
Well, I'm just immediately picturing. So, as you see, 1,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 full bath, and a half upstairs. And you're about 150 yards from the package store. This is right. They'll deliver to your home. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. We did.
When we moved to a small town in Kentucky in 1975, my parents were astonished to find all the liquor stores had drive-up windows. This is before Wendy's built their first location with a drive-through. There was no drive-through fast food yet, but the liquor stores all had drive-up windows. And the reason was we lived in one of the very few wet counties in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Every county that bordered mine was dry.
Crazy.
And so people drive in and they just make it as easy as possible. You don't even have to get out of your car. Cross the county line, drive up to the window. We'll put it right in your car, and you drive right back home. And Kentucky at that time had 120 counties. 90 99 of them were dry. I mean, and they were, but it was so funny because you look at the map and every one of them is just perfectly located. So you're never too far away from a wet county. It was not random. It was totally like, well, nobody should be more than 38 miles from a pint of bourbon. So they just set it up that way. But my parents, coming from Detroit originally and then Baltimore, like all of a sudden we're in the middle of, it was like another planet. And they were like, you have a drive, and some of the stores were set up where it's not a drive-through window, it's you drive through the store.
Right.
It's like the store is like a horseshoe that you drive into. And they just bring it, that you could just pop your trunk and say, give me 6 cases of whatever. They just put it in there.
I wonder what they thought they were preventing by having dry counties, but still accessible booze somewhere nearby that you just had to drive for a little bit. They just thought people would be.
They were just trying to. They were
lazy enough not to make it themselves.
The Southern Baptist experience is pretty fascinating.
Right.
Coming from a land of. I grew up in a neighborhood that was all Catholics or Jews. That was it.
Yeah.
Every family. All my friends, I knew 2 things. I knew Catholics and I had Catholic friends and Jewish friends. And then we moved to the land of the Southern Baptist, and it was bewildering.
Yeah, okay.
To say the very least.
Thank you, Jesus.
If you find yourself with a gut full of gummies and you're like, I'm kind of hungry right now.
Oh yeah.
It may occur to you for the first time in a long time, man, Red Lobster would sound pretty good.
Yeah, are we doing okay with the Red Lobsters?
Well, Red Lobster is the largest seafood chain in the world, which makes me laugh because the only place where you have something that you would call a seafood chain would be in America. Like you don't go to Europe and see seafood chains.
Well, after Long John Silver's went teed up, I suppose it was just a Red Lobster.
About 10 years ago, I was on Twitter and I got a notification and it said Long John Silver's is following you, and I stared at that thing. I was like, what? And I shared it. I was like, I've made it. I just thought it was the funniest, most random thing ever.
Right.
Long John Silver's. So Red Lobster recently filed for bankruptcy just last month. And so the Minnesota locations, our nearby locations here, were spared. You've got one in Golden Valley. You've got one in Bloomington. The company's more than $1 billion in debt. They got less than $30 million in cash. Whoo, boy.
Yeah, what about that one over in Roseville? Do you guys know, is that still open? I just drove past there not too long ago. That was such a...
So I think the one in Roseville is safe, but the Golden Valley and Bloomington ones are in jeopardy.
Those are
now.
in trouble. Yep. Golden Valley and Bloomington are now in trouble. So Burnsville, Duluth, Mankato, Maple Grove, Maplewood, Minneapolis, Oakdale, Rochester, Roseville, St. Cloud, all right now okay. And now probably going to be better than ever because Red Lobster has a brand new best friend. Flavor Flav from Public Enemy has made it his personal quest to save Red Lobster.
All right.
Also, by the way, he's got 2 big things going this summer. One is he is now appearing in ads for, as you just heard, and doing his best to save Red Lobster. And 2, he is pledging his support to the U.S. women's water polo team for the Paris Olympics. It's all about water with him.
All right. He's all over the place. Yeah, he's really gone aqua,
still wearing the giant clock.
Of course he is.
And I can tell you this from my one personal experience. The 1993 MTV Rock and Jock basketball game.
Oh, yeah.
He and I were the 2 finalists in the halftime 3-point shootout competition.
No
That's
kidding.
Amazing.
I took him down.
Yes, you did.
I took him down.
He seems like a little guy. Is he a little guy?
He was a very small man, and I told him, it's hard to shoot with that giant clock around your neck. Maybe remove it, get a little more flow through the shoulders.
No.
He's never taken that off.
No, it never has. He was hilarious. But yeah, I took him down. So if you're thinking about seafood, as we now are, honest to God, I'm kind of... we do this every day. We start talking about food, and then I'm like, whatever we talk about at this point of the day sounds pretty good.
How he got hooked up with Red Lobster? Because he would go there and buy the entire menu and put it on display for the internet. He's done this at 2 locations so far.
Really?
Yes.
What?
That's how Red Lobster found out he was such a huge fan.
But he was doing that before... he just did that on his own.
He just did it on his own because he's like, oh no, Red Lobster's in trouble. What can I do? Buy the entire menu.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to buy one of their menus.
Yeah, feel
today.
free.
How much for that menu? You're going out of business anyway. Just sell me the damn menu. I cannot afford everything on that vast menu.
You know, I had a standing.
Fest,
I had a standing. My thing for years on tour. There was always the pressure to who's going to get the check tonight. You know, so let me get dinner for everybody. And then it was if somebody would do that, then all of a sudden thanks douchebag. Now I got to get the next one. And it's always turned into a thing. Like, who's the coolest about it? And I was always like, well, not me. Just because I'm like, this is what we can all just buy our own meal. Like, but I had the rule in place for years, which is I always pick up the check if your menu is also your placemat.
Good thinking.
So that was like Denny's, Waffle House, anywhere where that paper mat, you just turn it over and then you put your plate on top of it. Yeah, if that's in guys, if the menu and the placemat are one and the same, then by God, dinner's on me. Let's enjoy yourselves.
Feel free to flip it over and write a song while you're at it.
In Morehead City, North Carolina, yesterday, there's the Big Blue Marlin Tournament. It's called it's the 66th annual Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament.
Cool.
These dudes are catching big ass blue marlin.
Oh, I'd love to someday.
I'd like to do that too.
A group in the afternoon yesterday pulled in a 504-pound blue marlin.
Oh man, that's a fight.
God. Yeah, no kidding.
504 pounds. That was a prize of $1.7 million.
What?
2 hours later, they were outdone because another group brought in a 516-pound blue marlin.
What are the odds? All right, so that's a 500-pound piece of muscle because they're just one large muscle.
It's just muscle.
In their environment, the water, about a half mile of fishing line out, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but, several hundred yards out there, wow. That just seems, I know it's a fight, and, it sometimes takes several guys to get them in.
Yeah, these are teams. So the first team was called Team Release, 504 pounds. The next team was Team Game Time. Now, Team Release keeps their prize money, the 1.7, because they're the first team to bring in a qualifying blue marlin over 500 pounds. Team Game Time will keep their $1.8 million if they stay on top of the leaderboard. If somebody comes in at 516 pounds and 1 ounce, they get if you beat 516, you're going to get the $1.8 million.
All right.
So
otherwise, they're just left with about 500 pounds of solid marlin meat.
It's running till Saturday, so you have time to get down there. That's my point.
Well, we're looking at a team here, the team KQMS right here.
I'll steer.
Yeah.
I'll pour the water on the reel like they did in Jaws or whatever. They have to pour the water on there to cool it off a little bit.
There's 302 boats. 302 boats. The total prize package, the total purse for the tournament is $7.5 million.
Yeah,
man.
There were 271 boats on the water yesterday. There are 6 days of fishing, but each boat only gets to go out for 4 days. I've said this before in the show. I caught a 5-pound bass once, and it pulled both my arms out of joint. I mean, it was the biggest fight of my life. I couldn't believe. I thought it was going to be a 30-pound fish.
Yeah.
But a 5-pound bass is a lot of bass. It was a big bass.
Right.
And it fought me to the death. I cannot begin to imagine what it is involved. I mean, I just remember watching. You'd see the. Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom, or what it was on Wide World of Sports. They'd show like that big blue marlin fishing, and you'd see them strap in and trade out. That is 500, like you said, a 516-pound muscle. Nice job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've been out for some of that wahoo, which is like one of the fastest fish in the ocean, and they get to be hundreds of pounds. Mine wasn't. It was just under 100, but that was, a couple-hour fight for me, it felt like. But actually, couldn't have been that long. Yeah, it wasn't that long. But, I mean,
smokes.
Can you imagine getting a 500-pound fish on a piece of cable like that? Wow.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. It is Tuesday, June the 11th. And this Friday, which is June the, 14th, I'll be at the Turf Club in St. Paul with my band Bagmen. And I would love it if you wanted to join me. Zep's going to be there.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll be there.
Tone, no pressure, but,
I'm going to show my lovely little facey.
Oh. Again, Ryder, you don't have to be there, Ryder, but God knows I just think you'll enjoy it. It'll be fun. I mean, come on. It's a Friday night.
Where else are you going to be? Ryder, what else have you got to do? Oh, you'll probably be prepping for the show, Monday's show.
Yes, I start that. The minute we get done on Friday, I spend the entire 48 hours of the weekend working on this show.
All right, I'll buy you a PBR.
Well, then I'm going to recant that invitation. Thank you for your diligence. But you know what? We'd love to give away a couple tickets as well. So let's make it easy. Oh, we're not going to make it that easy. Tony, what are we going to do?
Let's do this for pure fun. 1800 slang for getting it on.
I mean, is there...
Getting it on.
I'm not coming up with much for the 1800s. I'm going to listen and
you're going to learn.
Maybe like oiling up the wagon wheel. I hope I didn't step on any toes.
Now I got to scratch that up. Thanks, Gorman.
Something with a gully washer.
Ooh. Sex in the 1800s. Weehaw! Let's get after it. I got my dress grays on, and Delilah was wearing that dress she made out of the curtains. Hey, let's do it. Who's contestant number one?
Number one, we're going to bring on Scott from our new favorite town, Anoka.
Scott from Anoka. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Scott, were you out with us on Saturday? Because I met several Scotts on Saturday.
A lot of Scotts, yeah.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, another. Okay, so.
That's the going name in Anoka.
I think
Scott.
I think there were 3 different Scotts that I spoke with on Saturday.
There was Great Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
Francis Scott.
So Scott from Anoka, who was not with us on Saturday, hopefully you'll find yourself with us Friday night. Bagman tickets. Are you ready to play Sex in the 1800s?
I shall do my best.
Right on, brother. Good luck.
All right, Scotty, tell us true or false if this is an 1800 slang term for getting it on. Basket making.
Is
Scott?
he listening?
Scott.
He's listening to the
Yes
music
or no,
like
Scott?
Oh, what's the question?
Is this term an 1800s slang term for doing it, for sex? And the first one was basket making.
I'm going to say false.
I am sorry,
Really?
Scotty. Basket making comes from the method of weaving children's stockings, and if you were doing it, that meant you were doing it. You were trying to have kiddos.
What if she was just making a basket and you pounced on top of her?
No,
That's how rumors start. Early rumors.
I should have known that.
I should have known that.
Of
Don't
course you
beat
should
yourself
have.
up. None of us knew that.
You fool.
All right, Scott, get back on that horse. Not an 1800s euphemism for sex.
Number 2 of 5, Scott. Your next one is bread and butter. The phrase bread and butter.
Well, we're going to have to go true now.
Yes,
Good
sir.
call. Mm-hmm. Refers to, butter being on top of bread.
Spread
say
it.
no more. Wink, wink.
Right,
Oh, okay.
exactly. Lather it on.
Yep.
I don't even know what that does make sense.
Number 3 is making bacon.
False.
Correct. It is a term, but it's not 1800 slang. You'd find it on a T-shirt from Shirt Shack or at the fair.
A former minor league baseball team in Macon, Georgia. The Macon Bacon.
The Macon Bacon.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 4 is amorous congress.
Sounds true to me.
It is true. A polite but repressed term used by the upper crust in public.
Finally.
That's the one my wife and me still use.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
It's
Finally
nice.
got that new band name I'm looking for.
Amorous
The
Congress.
Amorous Congress.
Hot. And your last one. Jonas, join us for coitus.
Should be true, but it's false.
That is correct. I just
Attaboy.
plain made her up. All right. Good job, Scotty.
Join us. All right, Scott, 3 for 5. Around here, that's what we call a pretty good run at
Hell
it.
yeah.
So sit tight, brother. We're going to put you on hold for a moment. We got caller number 2. Who are we talking to, Tony?
Caller number 2 is Paul Lee from Prior Lake.
Paulie, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today?
We're great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just stuck in traffic.
Oh, perfect. Are you ready to play a little Sex in the 1800s?
Yep. Yeah, when I was on hold, it was completely blank, so I didn't hear anything for the last 15 minutes.
Oh, gosh. Well, all right. So do you know what we're doing here? Do you understand the game?
Why don't you explain it real quick?
Tone, take it away.
All right, Paulie, real quick. Sex of the 1800s, we're going to give you a phrase, a euphemism, and you tell us that, yes, it was a slang term from the 1800s for having sex, for getting it on. So you just true or false. All right, Paulie.
All right.
Here's your first one. This is riding St. George.
Yes.
Correct. The story of St. George and the dragon reared up from the lake, towered over the saint, so riding St. George casts the woman as the dragon and puts her on top. How about them apples?
You know, I like it. That one's naughty.
It sounds like there should be like a Welsh accent with that one.
You're right, say it.
What have you been doing? Oh, she was riding St. George, wasn't she?
Yeah,
yes.
And you're expecting
I'm sure
a lot.
St. George was very happy also.
Well,
Riding St. George, isn't it? All right, Paulie, 1 for 1.
Paulie, number 2 is face making.
No.
I'm sorry, Paulie, it is. It comes from making children and babies have faces. Also, possibly the expressions made during the act.
wow. Let's go do some face making, Ma.
Right on.
Jeez.
All
Bunch
right.
of sweet talkers.
Right. Paulie, number 3 is paradise by the dashboard light.
No.
That's correct.
70s, I believe.
Meatloaf was not alive yet, and neither were dashboards in existence. So.
Yeah, or lights for
And
most
so
of that.
now I'm praying for the end of time.
Paulie just goes, no. All right, 2 more. Number 4, blanket hornpipe.
Blanket hornpipe.
You heard me.
Huh. That's a tough. I'm going to say no again.
I'm sorry, it is true. Also, another good one for band, not a band, but hornpipe is a sailor's song and dance, so hornpipe under a blanket implies getting busy.
Wow. All right,
Yes,
Paulie,
sir.
you're 2 for 4. If you get this next one right, you will be tied with Scott, and we'll have a tiebreaker.
Your last one is,
All right.
Paulie, pound the Punani pavement.
On the Punani pavement.
Pound the Punani pavement. A lot of
I'm going to say no.
P's. You are
Wow.
correct.
Luckily, you got your
Blew
mic
out-
filter on
Yes,
there.
blew out
Your-
the mic in it.
Your pop filter.
Goodness
Implosives.
gracious. Paulie, 3 for 5. That ties you with Scott. Both of you gentlemen, 3 for 5. Very well played. Your knowledge of 19th century sex euphemisms, very impressive. But now it's time for a tiebreaker. So Tony's got a question for you. We'll get Scott's answer first, and then we'll go to Paulie.
All right, guys. Massive shopping mall in Dubai has how many shops and attractions? How many?
500.
Scott says 500. What do you think, Paulie?
There we go. Are you back?
Paulie?
Are
Nope.
you back?
There we are. All right. I didn't leave. It's just
Hey,
something
Tony, you might
happened.
need to say the question again.
Hey, Paulie. The massive shopping mall in Dubai, how many shops and attractions does it have?
Oh, 300.
All right. Paulie says 300. Scott said 500. What do we got?
The correct answer is 1,200.
Hell.
Wow. 1,200. Scott, that means you, sir, are the winner of Bagman tickets Friday night in St. Paul at the Turf Club. Paulie, thanks for playing, brother. We appreciate that. That's a nice game, Tony, and I do appreciate the banjo picking underneath.
I was
it was pretty.
I was a little mesmerized by it. Nothing with the 6-shooter in her holster. But that might come.
What Sex in the 1800s, is that I thought maybe it was going to literally be about Sex in the City trivia, and I thought you were going to say how many men did Samantha sleep with during the series? 1,800 was going to be the answer.
Yeah, how about per episode?
Trollop.
I remember watching Sex in the City when it first hit, and it was all the rage, and it was like, oh, it was okay, I get it.
liked it.
And then I read something Chuck Klosterman wrote about it, and he said, so he goes, let me just see if I get this straight. This is a show about the advancements of women in society, and their advance is to talk about sex the way dudes do.
Yeah,
that's actually a good thing.
That's right.
It's like, it's kind of funny.
Welcome to the locker room.
It depends. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it yes or no, but it hadn't occurred to me.
I've been out for those happy hours a couple of times where I was the dude at the table. The women have taken it far further than the men. We just don't have the sophistication. We're pretty one-tracked. It's the same things. We're Beavis and Butthead, basically. They go some places where I go home and I can't get any sleep. Well, my imagination has been unlocked.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It's like a guy can say what he wants to say in like 7 words and just gets the point across and a little blunt. It's a little bit of a it's a hammer, not a scalpel.
Right,
but the point is made, and then we move on and talk about is your burger done the way you wanted it? That's good dinner conversation.
Yeah, that's about it.
Here's good news. Well, at least it's good news for a lot of us. 2/3 of women polled. What do you want in a man? Do you prefer the guy with the 6-pack abs, or is a dad bod acceptable? 2/3 say no. Give me the dad bod.
Wow!
Thank God.
Women are natural liars, I've found.
Wow! 83% of women said they think of men with dad bods as being more confident.
All right, but they're going to bang the dad bod, but they're thinking about the 6-pack, the fireman calendar.
Well, we can't. There's no crime in what you can't penalize someone for thoughts.
Sure.
Nope. Well,
thoughts and actions, two very different things.
All right.
67% of women say that dad bods are attractive. 62% say it's actually sexy. And that's good. I've been saying for years, there's nothing wrong with me that 1,000,000 crunches wouldn't fix. So
it's a matter of time.
I just gotta. I could probably knock out 10 or 12 a day. And so what's that into 1,000,000? I could get there.
I mean, it's one crunch at a time, man. Oh, yeah, who needs it? I mean, we're Americans. The food is processed. We have, life's only getting easier and more docile. Let's embrace it. If you can't get out of it, get into it.
Attaboy.
A dad bod, a mom bod, sounds like a good time to me.
Seriously, like I've got a couple friends who, I'm 59 in a couple months. Yeah. I got a few buddies right around my same age, and man, they're working harder than ever, and they look amazing. They look great, and I look at them and I'm like,
thank you, Steve.
You're welcome, Tone. I mean, snap my fingers. Sure, I'd love that thinner waistline and all that, but I'm like, man, but you're going 90 minutes a day every single day and just working I mean, I don't know. I'm okay.
I don't want to waste all that money on all those streaming services. I got some TV to watch, brother.
Man. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. These fajitas are not going to eat themselves.
No.
I did spend most of the 90s. I was convinced I could lose weight while eating exclusively Mexican and or Indian food.
Well,
didn't work.
Yeah, well, you would think it might keep you regular anyway.
That did not happen. Regular? Well, there were some regularities, but they weren't. I don't think they were the kind of regularities anybody was actually trying to chase down. Nothing we were getting too excited about. I do know this. Over the years, I have tried many times to come up with the perfect hangover cure.
No.
And I've pretty much settled on this one, which is simply just throw it before you go to sleep.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Slam a little water.
Yeah.
Keep some water by the bed.
If you're going to be sick while you're still drunk.
Can you make yourself do it?
Oh, very easily.
I tried.
I'm not going to do it, but if you wanted me to throw up right now, I could do it. And I'm not proud of that fact. I can hurl at the drop of a hat. I can burp and I can hurl anytime you need me to.
Wow. That sounds like a fun bar trick.
Hey,
Steve,
it would be.
Come on over here.
I mean, I'm not saying I can do it like that, but in less than a minute, I could, without sticking something down my throat.
Really, just mentally?
You just mentally go there. You think about that.
I can get myself into that place.
All right. I'm kind of curious what you think about, but I don't want you to.
It says a lot about spending years of your life with a tortured central nervous system. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's not like I'm wearing that like a badge of honor, but in a pinch, you never know. There could be a situation. You know how they say if you get stung by a jellyfish, you need to pee on that. It's been debunked, but people still go for it.
Yeah.
There may be a situation where where some MacGyver type guy looks at me and says, "Man, if we only had some stomach acid, we could get out of this prison cell." And I'm going to be the guy who goes, If you don't mind, I'd like to save the day.
Pardon me.
And we're all going to be in good shape.
You know that old, I just saw it on a television show not long ago. Well, what you just drank was a deadly toxin, of which I have the antidote. And if you don't, antidote. Anyway, and if you don't, but exactly, then you could just blow it out real quick and maybe save yourself. I don't know.
I prefer saving everyone, but by burning through the lock with stomach acid, as I suggested.
Yeah.
But so long story short, like I said, my hangover cure was always on the preventative, which is I'm not saying don't drink. I'm just saying if you're going to get sick before you pass out.
Yeah,
that's me. But as far as other cures for hangovers, there are the science is coming in and giving us. Well, we're dispelling a few hangover myths.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Tuesday, June 11th. If you, like Tony Lee, woke up just hungover as hell today.
Don't you judge me.
No judgment, Tony. No judgment at all. I'm amazed you made it in.
I think he's still drunk. Yeah, clearly.
I could have been sheriff at one point. You don't know me.
Smacked me on the ass this morning.
Where's Foster Brooks of the KQ Morning Show.
Saltines for the house.
Saltines?
What's
wrong with that? Nothing.
By the way,
now he's getting angry.
You know what? The greatest really drunk line of all time is, "What's wrong with that?" That's because we've all said things like, "What's the big deal? What's wrong with that?"
What did I say? Something? Okay.
It's not hurting anybody. It's a free country.
And now you're going to get mad. Okay. I'm just trying to have fun. Guess can't have fun anymore.
I love it.
No.
Avoiding hangovers is it's a worthy pursuit. Let's not kid ourselves. And a far more important pursuit with every passing year for all of us. A few things that I'm reading. There's cures, there's fix-its, there's all sorts of things. Some of which there's old wives' tales, and then there's some things that actually apparently are true.
Yeah. Okay.
Hair of the dog.
Boom. Brian Zepp's cure.
That's it. Have another drink when you wake up. It does seem to make you feel a little better. But, Brian, here's the rub. Only for a little while.
Well, no, you just got to keep it going.
Oh, you just just get back on the horse.
Then you ease out of it. Okay, so I woke up with a hangover after the pub crawl. It was about 10:30 p.m. That night because I went home and ordered Devani's cheeseburger pizza. Highly recommend it. Pounded about half of that. Fell asleep in bed with my clothes on. Woke up at 10:30 p.m. and my head was hurting. And I cracked a beer.
Did the job?
Did the job. Got right back into a nice little buzz. But you're right. It does. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and suffer on a Sunday morning. I'm going to have a little something to drink.
I have hair of the dog for me only a couple times, but it's not to get up and start drinking again. It's wake up really hungover and not feeling good, and have another one just so I can fall back asleep.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've ever
to get to the headache.
Enlisted, like to.
But every once in a while, you kind of get back into the groove. You're like, now I'm feeling kind of, you know what? Hey, you guys want to come pick me up? I'm going golfing or whatever. Maybe you're just going out, for a Sunday fun day or whatever. But yeah, hair of the dog. It does come with it. It's not a cure. You're just avoiding it. You're sidestepping the hangover.
Sports drinks. Scientists do say they don't completely understand what causes hangover, but they do know that dehydration is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And they're saying if not just water, work in a Gatorade as you're going about your night drinking. Just try to stay hydrated throughout the process.
During the night? Okay.
Yeah,
as you're still drinking. Yeah. But then obviously in the morning, Gatorade. I've had many of the, I need a gallon of Gatorade right now when I wake up situations. Yeah. And I'll go for that.
I, for a long time, when I was out hitting it pretty hard, would stop at some point in the night and say, hey, just a glass of water, please, and then just chug that bad boy.
Yeah, that does help.
2 or 3 nights out of it. But the biggest thing for me was getting rid of the pop. Getting the pop out of the drinks a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Get that pop out of there. I'll take ice. I'll take it neat, whatever. Let's just drink it.
Yeah.
And I'll need the better stuff now, too. So it gets a little spendier. But that pop, I was convinced that sugary stuff was what gave me such horrendous hangovers.
I'll go with that. All right. I'm just gonna say, yeah, Dr. Zepp, you're onto something there. My wife will tell you, make no mistake about it, a quarter pounder with cheese and French fries is the best thing for a hangover.
Yeah.
As many people do. A lot of people swear by the greasy breakfast. Science says no. We have no reason. We can't prove it's helpful. They suggest actually things that are easier to digest, like toast or cereal. The calories get into your system faster. There's an author who wrote a book called The Doctor's Hangover Book, and he says there's no specific food that actually can cure, but a lot of people have good results with honey. Honey for a hangover. The worst hangover of my life, oddly enough, happened when I was 22 years old, very young, but I will never forget this, and it was the first time and last time I ever drank Jägermeister. And I drank so much of it because I can't believe how good this is. There was a case of Beck's beer, and there was a bottle of Jägermeister, and maybe even more. And by the end of it, it was so weird. I had a delayed reaction hangover. Like I woke up the next morning early and felt okay, not great.
Still a little drunk, maybe.
Probably got back to sleep, and when I woke up for the second time, I then had no exaggeration, 2 full day hangover. 2 full days. All I was eating was saltine crackers.
Funny.
I just had saltine after saltine after saltine.
Every time I've had Jägermeister has been the last time I will ever drink Jäger. Yeah, one of my buddies, Good Time Johnny over there in St. Paul, got a Jäg machine bought it at a rummage sale or a bar's rummage sale, one of the Jäg machines.
Oh my God.
It was a bad thing. It's what I imagine that, the bar rag, if you just wringed it into a glass, that's what I imagine it would. It's wow. And Fireball. Everybody's all excited about Fireball. That just gives me a hangover thinking about it.
I've stuck to that. I've never had Jägermeister since. I've had Jägermeister on one occasion in my entire life.
That was it.
If I smell it, it's just like, nah. It doesn't make me sick, but it certainly still triggers the memory. I could never possibly forget that.
Yeah, I can't.
Have you ever gotten up and felt really hungover and just said, screw it, and you just jump out and go for a run or get on the bike, go for a hardcore workout?
Right. Yeah. I love, actually, skiing. Everybody knows I like to ski a lot, and I go on the ski trips with the buddies, and we party hardy, and I get up in the morning, and then no one wants to go skiing except me, man. You get me out in that cold air and then work in the lungs and get the heart beating. That works. I wish I could still do that, but I don't get, quite as hung as I used to.
I can see it. That kind of checks out to me. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. We have a caller, Tony?
Our buddy David from Rosemont claims to have the best hangover cure.
Ooh.
David from Rosemont, help us all. What do you got?
All right. So when you're down and drinking and you are just hammered off your tuchus, in the morning you got to get up to use the bathroom anyway. So you take 4 Excedrin and drink yourself a bottle of water and go back to bed. Hangover gone.
All right.
It's 4 Excedrin, bottle of water. That's pretty simple.
It's got to be Excedrin.
Hangover in my life.
All right.
I thought you were going to say something like hang your head over the side of the bed, swallow the pills, and drink the water with your head upside down.
I got a question for Zepp.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Dave, what's up?
Have you tried?
No, I will not make out with you. What? I'm sorry.
Have you tried the pizza on the grill yet?
Oh, no, Dave. I have not tried the dang pizza on the grill yet. In fact, I did kind of space it, but guess what? I'm going to the pizza on the grill. So you had called in with that, right? And it's just take the frozen pizza, don't thaw it or do thaw it.
Do not thaw it. You don't need to thaw it. Just put it on there, close the grill at about 350. You want to put a little bit more cheese on it. We actually cooked mozzarella sticks on there, too.
All right, I'm doing that today. I'm actually going to do that today. So any old frozen pizza gets the job done?
Any pizza you want to put on there.
And just add a little extra matzah and maybe whatever else I want on there. Okay, Dave, thanks. That's my Tuesday plan.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, brother.
They said we did something a couple of years ago that if you drank pear juice. Now, this was a PhD.
Pear juice?
That if you drank pear juice before you went out drinking.
Okay.
A full glass, I forget how many ounces, let's say 8 ounces of pear juice.
Only cost $71.
Probably. I don't even know. I remember at the time thinking, where the hell do you get pear juice? Do they sell that? Well, they do, I guess. If you drink pear juice before you go out for the night drinking, you will not be hungover. But I never got around to, much like Dave's grilling the pizza idea. which I am going to get to. I never got to the pear juice. I wonder if anyone knows of the pear juice thing before you go drinking, prevents hangovers. 651-989-ROCK. We'd love to hear from you.
Fair enough. We are hearing from someone else. Who we got, Tony?
Here's Boris's cure.
Boris, what do you got for us, brother?
Hey, man. Good morning, guys. Kind of keep it down here. I'm a little hungover. No, just kidding. Hey, I've always thought that if you have some really good watermelon or some really good juicy fruit, like sweet, it's got to be good, though. It can't be that chewy stuff. It's got to be nice and in season. Right. And but some of the girls I've known that wake up hungover, I mean, they're the worst anyway, but popsicles always seem to help them.
Popsicles?
Anyway, I'll hang up that guy 6.
Yeah, you got it, Boris.
Yeah. A popsicle or a really good juicy fruit in season. Or not nothing chewy. None of the, what's a chewy fruit?
I don't know.
But I get what he's saying. Watermelon, it's high in water content, so you're getting the water back into your system. That's why that works. And you can consume a lot of it. That's not bad. I might keep some watermelon in the fridge for the next hangover. One
of the things they suggest not drinking is coffee because caffeine restricts your blood vessels, ups your blood pressure, and that can make you feel worse. However, if you are already a regular coffee drinker, well, then you have to drink it because caffeine withdrawal just makes everything worse. Caffeine withdrawal is a very real thing. Do you enough of a coffee drinker where if you don't have it one day you get that headache?
Oh yeah,
that
caffeine headache.
Yep. That caffeine headache is worse than any hangover headache I've ever had.
Piercing.
Man.
And then I can't drink caffeine and get rid of it.
No.
Yeah,
Once it starts, it doesn't work at all. There's no getting rid of it. It's just an absolute. It's a screaming advertisement that says "Stop drinking coffee," is what it is. Tony, who else we got on the phone?
Andy has another take.
Andy, good morning. Andy.
Hey.
What's up, brother? What do you got for us?
Well, listen, man, I go to Canada every year, and one year my nutritionist sister-in-law sent up activated charcoal tablets with us, and we drank every night and partied hard and didn't wake up with one hangover.
Really? I mean, do you still do that? I mean, is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you have to be in Canada?
Or any sort of natural grocery store has activated charcoal tablets or capsules.
Okay.
They're amazing.
All right. Okay.
Take 2 before you go to bed.
Okay. Activated charcoal tablets.
Man, first I've ever heard of it. That's pretty good. I know that when Chauncey Gorman overdosed on his sister dog Zelda's pain pills, true story, he tried to off himself by wolfing down 60 pills. Giving us all a heart attack. They fed him charcoal, like to flush the system out. It was like they were just shoving it down his throat like there was no tomorrow.
I didn't know there was a charcoal pill, but I'm putting it on my shopping list.
Hey, if it was good enough for Chauncey and his kidneys, it's probably good enough for you and your Coors Light headache. On the KQ Talking text line, 651-989-ROCK, a lot of suggestions. Pedialyte is one. That's a...
no. Okay, that makes me angry. Pedialyte makes me angry. Sorry, have you guys tried Pedialyte?
No, I've never tried it.
It's the worst. Try it today.
Is it like the sugar-free vitamin water?
God.
Just makes you want to throw up as soon as you taste it?
It is. It tastes like it's already been drank once.
Ooh. Well, it's for kids.
Exactly. Why would you do that to your kid? But whatever, because I guess they can't protest because they're too young. And my mom gave me some nasty-ass cough syrup or something, I remember.
It must have some validity to it. We're like on campus. So if you go to any convenience store on campus Monday morning, the Pedialyte shelves are cleared. There's just a big empty spot where the Pedialyte is supposed to go.
Now I wonder if I'm thinking of the right stuff. I remember, I had something, what it was. I don't know if you have to get... What it was, I had to go in for something medical, and they're like, flush your light, drink this stuff. I think it was Pedialyte, and it was just the nastiest stuff.
I've never sipped it. I've seen that, but that's funny that the shelves are clear every Monday on campus. That's pretty fantastic.
Well,
I'm looking up activated charcoal right here.
Yeah.
A fine odorless black powder often used in emergency rooms to treat overdoses.
Oh.
Wow! But you can get
over the counter.
Yeah, you can get it over the counter in tablet form. So here's what it says. It does. Hang on. It reduces absorption of substances in the stomach and intestines. So, that makes sense.
All right.
All right, fair enough. Tony, who else we got on the horn?
A couple good routes to take. First, Fred from South Dakota, and then Cassandra from Chanhassen.
Fred, lay it on us, brother.
Yeah, real quick. It's a V8, a shot of vodka, and the coldest 6-ounce beer you can find with ELO and a little toke. You'll be fine.
South Dakota showed up this morning. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, man?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I'm hanging out in South Dakota listening to you guys. You guys crack me up. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We were talking about how to cure a hangover, and I think you just told us how to get one.
Right. Yeah. No, it's, brother, preach it from the mountaintops, and I can only assume that your car broke down in South Dakota, and you're trying to work your way out of there, but good for you, my man. That's where I'm from.
Just having a bowl. It's nice out here. Just drinking and having a bowl.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Right on.
A little ELO, don't
have
forget
a beautiful day, cats.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
He does not sound like he's from South Dakota.
A lot of texts saying activated charcoal is the way to go. Wally wrote, activated charcoal is a miracle. They work awesome for an upset stomach, but this is an item where you get what you pay for. Spend a little more. Don't buy the cheap stuff. And then it says, don't take it within an hour of taking other meds because it legitimately will flush everything out.
Weird.
So if you're taking other medicine, it'll deactivate. It'll flush it out before you have a chance
time to flush everything out.
All right,
Okay,
Dr.
gotcha.
Wally has weighed in. Who else did you say is on the horn?
Cassandra.
Cassandra, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great. What do you got for us?
Well, to cure a hangover, you got to have a hot bowl of Mexican soup, menudo. It's made with beef tripe, hominy. You do it with corn tortillas, onion, cilantro. It's got an authentic chili powder in it, and then a shot of tequila, and you're ready to go.
Muy bien.
Cassandra, I'll just give you a blank check if you bring some over right now. That sounded amazing.
Yeah.
It is awesome. Oh, my gosh. I grew up on it. I guess a lot of Hispanic people have grown up on it. Some people don't find it the best, but we absolutely love it. And for a hangover, that's the best cure.
Wow, fair enough. Cassandra, thank you for that. Now I'm hungrier than I already was. That sounds great.
If I wasn't in Minnesota, I definitely would bring you some.
All right. Fair enough. This text just in, Pedialyte is good, but breast milk is better. Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Good to know.
If I just had someone on the hook with a boob full,
a question for you.
A
question for you, Zepp, on the text line. Zepp, how many times have you or your Army buddy shown up hungover for PT formation and had a medic give you an IV?
No, I did not. But I did do the IV treatment one time. We were in Vegas, and there was a place down in the hotel lobby where we were staying. I forget which hotel we were at that year, but they had the hangover cure thing downstairs. You'd go down and you'd get hooked up. I don't know if it helped or not because I actually started drinking again while the needle was in my arm. And I'm pretty sure I was drunk when I went down to do this with Terry Tran. But anyway, I never had a medic that was that kind to me. I did wake up in formation one day in my cot. They carried it outside, and I woke up out there, and that was embarrassing. And but no, that's a good one. Yeah, no, I didn't have the hookup back then. That's a good one. I like it.
This in on the text line. Stick your head under the faucet and drink until you can't swallow anymore.
What
Go
the
to bed.
hell? That's called waterboarding.
Get up to pee and then repeat drinking water until you can't swallow. You will not have a hangover in the morning because you'll be dead.
Yes.
So you have to get up to pee.
You drowned yourself in the sink.
Ooh, man. I have a friend who would open a can of peas and drink the juice. Worked every time for her. Ugh. Man,
Pea juice.
Pea juice.
What? Man,
worth a try, I guess.
Let's see. What do we got? Hangover cure. Hangover cure. Just got back from Las Vegas. Denny's on Fremont Street. 2 Bloody Marys with your breakfast. You're good to go. Then start over again. Yeah, everyone.
Done.
There's a whole lot of how do we get back on the horse into a lot of these.
No, Fred got it. Was that Fred in South Dakota by way of Brooklyn? Was that his name? I forget. Yeah, I like that. A toke, shot, and some ELO, and you're on your way.
Yeah.
Someone said, wrong, guys. I got a Pedialyte at Target last night. Blue raspberry. Tell Zepp it's good. Does the trick. There was a full supply at Target last night.
Okay. All right.
Someone said...
I'm going with the charcoal tabs.
Someone said, Zepp, you're talking about Go Lightly, not Pedialyte.
Oh,
Go Lightly is what you have before a colonoscopy.
Yeah, that was it. That was the medical procedure.
Yeah, that's foul tasting.
Yeah, that's nasty. All right, well, Go Light, Pedialyte.
But the good thing about the Go Light is they only ask you to drink a gallon.
Yeah, right. God. That's right. That's what it was. Thanks for the heads up. All right. I went hard on Pedialyte. Sorry about that, Pedialyte.
Yeah, I was surprised. Not that I had not that I'm connected to Pedialyte in any way, but I just thought I would have heard that it's awful before.
And
it's kind of like Gatorade for kids.
But I did say I mentioned this vitamin water. Remember when that hit the scene the first time? There was there's the dragon berry or dragon fruit and different flavors, and it was so good. And one day someone handed me one, and it said sugar free. And if you ever want to know how much sugar is in vitamin water, drink the sugar-free.
Yeah,
because I almost threw up. One sip, I was like, what is this? I mean, I looked at the vitamin water. I was like, 9,000 calories. Okay, good. So this really isn't good for me.
Yeah, that's 35 grams of sugar. It's huge.
It was crazy amounts of sugar. I was like, well, that explains why I love this so much.
Right. I recently got my favorite chips, my favorite kettle-cooked chips, salt-free. I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch the sodium, I'm told. I read that somewhere. Heard that on the KQ Morning Show. I've got to watch my sodium intake. And I ate about 3 chips and went, the salt. Yeah. That's why I eat them.
I for the first time ever, my yearly checkup this year, the guy said, what's your sodium levels? Just like, what happened? Like, it's never been high. And all of a sudden it was really high. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just... because I'm not eating any more. So I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a salt tooth. Yeah. Like when I finish a big meal, I'm like, what would top this off perfectly? Just some potato chips. maybe a couple of Fritos. It's like I'm just always looking for salt. It's ridiculous.
Aperitif.
Yeah, like I used to say dessert for me was always just more of the main.
Yeah, right. Just about thirds.
Who's ready for pie? I'd actually just have more chili. That was always me. And at some point, man, it's just too much salt. Apparently, here's a hangover cure on the text line: can of Coca-Cola and saltine crackers. Been there, done that, and saltines are an absolute staple of my hangover cure.
I just always.
Yeah, that's what I imagine them doing that. I pretend they are. I think I convince myself it is working. This is helping because
the power of the mind.
I'll do a whole sleeve of saltines.
Nabisco's sponge.
I'll just sit there. I'll sit there and I'll watch. I'll put on like some, Suits. Just one of those dumb shows where you're like, I don't care what happens, but I'll just watch people talk about anything, but they're doing something and they seem to think it matters, and I'm not going to remember, but I'm just going to slowly and I eat saltines like I've just nibbled, so it's just constant source, just not big bites, just little pieces, and it just goes, just one after the other.
You're so noisy. I don't know. Yeah, I think that would bother me watching you do that.
It would bother me having you watch me do that. This is called me time.
Okay.
We are just about geared up here for
Speaking
round
of me
2.
time.
Yeah. So you know what the SAT is? What about the F.A.T., the Father Aptitude Test in honor of Father's Day? We're having the kids of the KQ Morning Show phone in, and coming up in just a few minutes, Conall Gorman, the young lad himself, will phone in, and we'll see how well he knows me and how much about me I wish he didn't know. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June 11th, Father's Day this weekend. It is time for round 2 of F.A.T., not the S.A.T., but the Fatherly Aptitude Test. Yesterday, the Zep girls, Sydney and Taylor, came in strong.
Yeah, not too bad.
They really know their dad.
Yeah, better than I'd like them to sometimes, but they pay attention, I guess.
So next up on the list would be my eldest, my son, Conall Gorman, phoning in from the Music City. I believe he's with us. Good morning. You there, Connie?
Yeah, how's it going?
All right. It's all going well.
Yeah.
The king of Nashville, Tennessee has called in this morning. Before we go to the quiz, I have a question for you. We were just discussing hangover cures. What's your go-to?
I don't have a tried and true formula just yet, although I did recently hear that dunking your head in a cold tub of water over and over will actually It's a lot, and I'm interested to try that one.
Please call back when you give that one a run and let us know how it goes.
I'll do that.
All right, so the F.A.T. is this is how this works. The other members of the morning show are going to ask you some questions about me, and I will not be hearing this part of the show. I'll come back in, and then we'll compare notes, and we'll see how well you know me or how well you know what I think I know about myself. Well, we'll just see if any of our matchers line up, if any of our answers line up. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right, good luck. You got Zepp and Tony here.
Hi, Conall.
Hi.
Conall, good morning. Right off the top, buddy, what's your dad's net worth? Down to the dollar. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to go there. All right, Conall, here we go. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're going to throw you some underhand softballs just to get started, get warmed up here a little bit. And we've gotten to know your dad pretty well here in the last year and a half ourselves, so we know the answer to some of these, I think. Dad's favorite band?
The Beatles.
Beatles, yeah.
Shout out to R.E.M. as well.
No, yeah, that's a solid answer. I think that's about half of America or the world's answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it over to Tony. Tony, you want to go back and forth?
Yeah, we're just going to kind of go back and forth, ping pong style. Conall, what was your dad's first concert?
I think it was R.E.M. It might have been the Police. I'm locking in one of those two, though.
Okay.
All right, solid. That sounds about right. How about favorite TV show?
Patriot.
All right.
Yeah, Patriot.
Yeah. That sounds like a conversation.
He tells me to watch it at least once a week, so must be pretty good.
Mandatory. You must not have watched it then if you don't know.
I'm one season in.
All right.
How about his favorite movie?
I've never seen this either, but I think it's Being There. I think that's what it's called.
All right. Is that bad? I haven't even heard of that one.
Oh, it's a great one.
He's a thinker, yeah.
Peter Sellers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we named our dog after one of those characters.
Right.
Yeah, Chauncey the gardener.
All right.
Yeah, right.
I think we know the answer to this one, too. Dad's favorite team across all sports, that one team.
Arsenal Football Club soccer team is where my head's at. It could be Tennessee Titans, and it recently could be the Minnesota Timberwolves, but I'm going to go with Arsenal.
All right. Thanks for being a homer there for us. I like it. Tony.
Does your pop have an all-time favorite athlete? Who is it?
Going off the Arsenal thing, I'm going with Thierry Henry, but it could be Derrick Henry, old Titans running back.
Okay.
Maybe that's just my favorite athlete, though.
Okay, cool.
This is really all about you, man. All right. Dad's top pet peeve. What can't he stand?
Oh, this is easy. People that try and walk on an elevator before you let the people on the elevator off. I guarantee that's what they'll say.
All right.
This is the one I'm most sure of.
That's a one answer. You've given two answers to everything, I believe. But that one...
I'm cheating it a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. But that a one answer. All right, Tony, back at you.
How about this? Conall, what's the coolest thing you've gotten to do because of your dad's job or career path?
I got to meet Ringo about 5 years ago. That stands out.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool.
That's a great one.
That would stand out.
That's really cool.
All right. What's the what would your dad say, or what do you think your dad would say is the ultimate Father's Day gift that you've already got him?
That I've got him in the past?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Been so many, right?
Yeah.
So many memorable gifts.
I think I've got him. This is a tough question for me. I think we went to. I'm trying to remember if we did go to a soccer game in New York. We got to see Messi play, and I'm trying to remember if those were Father's Day tickets. I think that they were. So that's something to lock in, but I could be
he likes
totally
underwear.
mistaken there.
He likes
we
underwear
both love soccer, though.
All right, got it.
I just got two more.
Okay.
So this first one, Is there a phrase or something that your pop used, something that he would say all the time that you and your sister would secretly make fun of him behind his back about?
The one that it's a good phrase, but he loves saying it, so I think they got made fun of. But he'd always talk about, or not even a phrase, but he would always vent to us about how you have to work really, really hard. And I think now I've realized that he works really hard. But as a kid, I was like, douchebag rock star. All right. We're in Australia, dude. Like, I'm in second grade. Let's tone it in. But okay. I think that's something about that, yeah.
Yeah, you got to hold them accountable. That's what kids are for, especially the boy. All right, here's one I think might be a curveball. I don't know. You probably have this one right away. What drum kit does he play? What brand of drums does your dad play?
Sugar Percussion. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry to whoever he plays. But I want to say Sugar Percussion.
He just lost his endorsement.
Bass brand, I think. He loves them.
All right. That's a pretty good one. Tony, got one more for
Yeah,
him?
Conall, here's your last one from me. This is a quality or a quirk that you've inherited from your dad that's actually pretty cool.
If someone's annoying him, he's great at not showing that person that they're annoying him, but letting other people in the room like when you know him really well, you can see someone's annoying him. And,
I feel like I'm starting to get to know him well enough that I know when I am.
It's like at family reunions and stuff, but I've inherited that for sure to a fault, I would say.
What's the cue that you're annoying him? We want to know that.
Great.
If he's getting annoyed, what does he do? We want to be tipped off.
Maybe a lot of he does
that to me constantly. That's all he ever says to me. That's literally all he ever says to me.
It's the greeting.
Yep.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow, my feelings are immediately hurt. Okay, now I'm going to add one more.
Yeah.
I'm going to have one more, Conall, coming at you with here we go. This is Tough Love on the KQ Morning Show. The angriest he's ever been with you. What'd you do?
I was in a big fight with my mom. And I haven't fought my parents in forever, but 12 through 15, those ages, I was a mess. And he walks in the house. Me and my mom are in a ferocious screaming match, and as the door opens, this is the biggest fight we've ever had for the first. But I'd thrown a lamp at her, ripped it out of my wall.
Excitable, passionate young man.
She just went up to her room. It was an emotional scene, and then, of course, I wouldn't have done this knowing he was in the house, but he had just got back. And then it was. I don't remember exactly what happened. I do remember. I don't have a closet door anymore, and for a little bit, I don't think I had a door. A door to my bedroom. That was the punishment.
All right, we haven't made him that angry yet, so I like it. That's a solid answer, my man.
It was mainly just if I was ever disrespectful to my mom. That's about the easiest way to unlock that beast.
I feel like you learned a lesson. I feel like you communicated that well to you.
12 years later.
Every time you reach for... I can't give it away. All right. Dad's back in the room, Conall. You feeling pretty confident about your answers?
Steve.
I like the answers, yeah.
All right. Connell's feeling... All right, Steve, welcome back.
All right. This is very harrowing to not be listening to what's happening.
We had to stop right there because, it was getting a bit intense there, and I was digging it myself.
There were tears.
That's for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Great.
I think we asked him 35 questions.
I would hope so. It was 31 minutes later.
Yeah. All right. Well, right off the top, we asked him what your favorite band is, and like I said, I told Conall, we've gotten to know you pretty well here in the last year and a half. Not as well as your son, naturally, but your favorite band is, of course...
That would be the Beatles.
Really?
From Liverpool. 4-piece band from Liverpool, England.
He said the Stones.
Oh, did he? No, he did
All right,
not.
that's 1 for 1. All right. Tony then asked...
Dad's first concert.
My first concert was Heart.
Oh, we got an REM or the Police.
Oh, Police was third, I believe.
All right, well, that's
third or fourth. But
Conall
no, sorry,
will be punished now.
That was hard at Rupp Arena, 1978.
All right, sounds good. Then we asked about your favorite television show.
Oh, Patriot on Amazon.
Bang, boom.
Yeah, that was
done.
easy.
It took him about
brainer.
that and something about The Simpsons came in second. He gave a couple of seconds, but Patriot, real quick, right out of his mouth. That was the first thing that came up between you and I believe,
That's
when
right.
we met in person.
First time we met.
Was the Patriot. And then, Tony, you asked.
You went, what'd you go with for a favorite movie?
Oh, gosh. I'm trying to well, my answer is almost always being there, but I don't know if he ever paid attention, and he has.
He sure did. We brought up Chauncey's namesake.
That's right. Exactly, right. Then I've got to put that on my to-watch list. I can't believe there's a Peter Sellers movie.
It's so good.
Sat through that.
It's unstoppable.
All right, sounds good. And then, again, another softball here for you. Dad's favorite team is...
Well, the Baltimore Orioles, my longest lasting sports affiliation.
Oh, he never came in with the O's.
No,
he said
Arsenal.
Okay,
all right, that makes more
Titans.
sense. I'm more passionate about Arsenal, but I say the Orioles first just because it's the longest lasting.
Yeah,
but
we're going to give him that one because I've heard you probably talk about the Arsenal more than you've talked about the O's quite a bit too.
Yeah, no.
We're going to go ahead and give him that one.
Thank
so
you. Nice job, bud.
2 for 5 right here, and then
2 for 5. We're doing better than 2 for 5.
What? No, 4 for 5.
4 for 5.
I'm sorry.
Wow, all right.
No, that's my bad handwriting here.
Okay.
4 for 5. All right. So we get here. Tony, was it back to you then?
Pop's favorite athlete.
Favorite athlete? Oh, man. I'll say Magic Johnson. Oh. Who we got?
You went with Thierry Henry or maybe Derrick Henry. But
Again,
then,
okay, I could see the Henry for sure. Not Derrick Henry. Sorry, bud. But lifelong, still Magic. At a time when I couldn't have cared about anything more.
All right.
But Thierry Henry is right there, close call.
All right, hanging in there. And then your top pet peeve.
Oh, God, there's a few that I've shoved down my kids' throats. I'm going to say when somebody doesn't, when it's elevator protocol.
so
Is that it? Yes.
He didn't even
away.
He didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
And
My most confident answer.
I cannot stand when someone steps into an elevator that I'm trying to leave. Just makes me crazy.
All right. Tony, what was your next question?
The coolest thing that Conall's gotten to do because of your career path and your job.
I would say it's got to be probably going to see. Oh wait, I was going to say we seeing the Stones from the soundboard and going backstage, but I'm going to say, and if he forgot this, I'll kill him. Hanging out with Ringo Starr.
Oh, good for you!
Woo! All right.
Yeah, he went there.
I don't know if he thinks that's the coolest thing, but he better think that's the coolest thing.
You did.
All right. I then asked about your drum kit. What brand you play?
Sugar,
yeah. Bing, bang, boom.
Very good.
Very good.
And then I asked him if there was a phrase that you used a lot that they maybe kind of made sport of you of, he and his sister.
Say it again?
Some phrase, a word or phrase that you use a lot as advice that they would kind of make fun of you over.
God. I don't have like a catchphrase that I can think of. I always say, I definitely talk about there is a catchphrase I like, life rewards action. I always say, just do, just go. Don't sit around and think about it. Just do it. Like learn on the fly.
Yeah.
You gotta, talent's great, but work.
Yeah,
do
you
it.
said work hard.
Oh, yeah good.
All
you
right.
were paying attention to that? That's awesome. Thank you, Conall.
I think 22 is when some of this stuff starts to stick a little bit.
Yeah.
Not until then. I asked about, I think my next question was, the angriest you ever got with him.
Well, it's this is not good. Two things come to mind. 2 times that I just immediately thought of. I don't know. I don't remember what happened, and this is really embarrassing. But I punched his closet door off of its hinges.
Yeah. That's it.
I destroyed his closet door. Not because I'm not a thrower or a puncher of things, but I was that day. I think it was mostly because I just wanted him to see, look what I can do.
Yeah,
look what I can bring.
But I don't remember why I was so mad.
Do you know who remembers why you were so mad?
Who?
The young man who lost a closet door.
I'm sure he does.
He had gotten into a tiff with Mom. And you walked in as...
That'll do it.
Yeah, just as...
Oh, was that the lamp?
That was the lamp.
Yeah.
You bastard. Yeah. I was so mad. Oh, man, I wanted to kill him.
That's awesome. You guys are killing it. Tony, was that it?
I had one more. I asked if there was a quality or quirk that Conall thought that he has inherited from you.
A quality or a quirk?
Yeah, something
Sounds
that's
like all of them
so
so
you
far.
that he also has adopted.
He's got a good, I'd say he's good at working the room, good social flow. Can just in a room with a lot of different people, he can bounce around and he gets in and out, and he's not at all. He's comfortable in any setting. He can good in any room.
Yeah, I will give him that. He was saying he's great at being a civil, even though annoyed by something.
Oh,
that you're very good at that. Even though you're very annoyed at something, you'll be civil. But I asked him for the tip off on that. And we're not going to tell you what he said, so we're going to know when you're annoyed.
But I've heard it, and I think that's how Steve and I got through our first year together, with Steve just going, you know what, I want to open up on Zep, but I'm just going to stay civil
So
take the high ground.
the thing he inherited from me is...
You have a tell when you're annoyed, but...
I got you. Okay, wow.
Fellas, that's 10 for 12.
Wow.
That's a new high water mark
That's
for the
pretty
F.A.T. test. That's very strong.
Conall getting up early and delivering the goods. Right on.
Bad.
Raised well.
We're not going to deduct a point for that ridiculous hangover cure.
No,
we do want you to
insanity.
try it.
That sounds like that's a prank gone bad. That's one of his friends is going, let's see if he buys this.
Conall, very nice chatting with you, my man, and hope to meet you sooner than later. And you nailed it today.
Absolutely.
Nice job, bud. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
See you.
All right.
It's a good kid there,
Proud
Stevie.
dad, huh? Not
Man.
bad. Not bad. Just when you think. I was floored yesterday. Now, Tony, Conall even admitted, and my girls did after the show when we spoke, that when they were teenagers, they wouldn't have known. They said, if you had asked us when we were teenagers, we wouldn't have known the answer to any of that stuff.
Right.
Conall's now dialing in dad. I remember my early 20s suddenly thinking about dad, and we had a strained relationship my last few years in the house, couple of years in the house, and all that long, long gone. But Tony, you're actually bringing in, we have a teenager to talk to. Yeah, now is it going to be one of the boys, both the boys?
Both of the lads are going to be on the 15 and 11. Hudson in August.
I mean, they should not have much of a clue at this point in their life.
I know. It's going to be a circus of nonsense and them punching each other.
I know this much. If they get every answer right, Tony's going to be crying his eyes out.
I know.
They're still young enough where he'll be like, this is the most beautiful day of my life.
Yeah, I know. And then we're going to do the old flipperoo. We're going to have the kid, and we're calling the dad with Ryder.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Right.
Yeah, we're calling Pops. We're talking to Marley tomorrow. I'm excited to see how she's going to do against Conall.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, we've got Marley tomorrow?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that could be a little competitive.
I will say this, honestly, when I was... you guys were talking, and I was like, man, they're going on for a while. And I was really thinking, just please get half of them right. I was just like, let's just get half. But even the two I missed were close. I mean, I had the follow-ups at least.
Yeah, for sure. What the hell are we going to ask Marley? We asked all the good questions today.
Well, maybe they won't
Was
talk.
she listening?
Well, no. Oh, God, no. She's
all right, we can do
listening.
it.
All right.
No, you can do some crossover. She will have no idea.
All right, Conall, if you're listening out there, don't. Well, he's not going to. He wants to beat his sister.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah,
exactly.
No competition rules at all times.
All times.
All right. Well, that was fun. I was a little nervous going in, but fair enough. All right, we're gonna have round 3 tomorrow.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Tuesday, June the 11th. We were discussing earlier on the show hangover cures on the KQ Talk and Text line 651-989-ROCK. A whole lot of suggestions. This one just in, hangover cure I learned from my dad. Chocolate malt flavored carnation instant breakfast drink. I made him hundreds as a kid.
Well, that's just what he liked for breakfast.
Yeah,
hundreds.
That's what it is.
Yeah, well, he drank because of you.
And I've got a few. The original Pancake House. That's all you need.
Oh,
the OPH.
Every time.
I mentioned that science says honey helps some people, and someone wrote, "I use honey to cure the hangover. I say when I wake up, honey, get me another beer."
How's that work out for you?
That's pretty good. The hangover hash browns at the Old Piper Inn in Blaine. Getting a shout out.
Old Piper, yeah.
Hangover hash brown sounds. I'm not hungover at all right now, but boy, that sounds pretty great,
doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, no, that would absolutely work for me. Father's Day this Sunday. All right, 1,000 dads were asked, what do you actually want for Father's Day? Here we go. The top 10 list. The number one gift, a gift card.
Yep. They've got all those big dad. My dad is Cabela's. That's his. That's where that's the only place I think my dad ever walks into and buys things, except for maybe like the farm surplus store or whatever out there. But yeah, good old gift card gets the job done.
Something food or drink related. Number two.
Sure. A fine bottle of something if you know what he likes.
Clothing or shoes. Father's Day gift for me, 2006, was a pair of shoes. It wasn't just shoes. It was orange shoes. And they weren't just orange. They were orange Crocs.
Yes.
So it's Father's Day. It's 2006. There's a World Cup happening, that summer. And I'm a big soccer jerk. And I always cheer for the Dutch national side. I cheer for the U.S. men. But otherwise, my team as a kid was always the Dutch.
Yep, that's where you get the orange.
They wear the orange. And so my kids, for Father's Day in 2006, they presented me with orange Crocs, as Crocs were all the rage.
Yeah.
And I wore them. And I was on tour for most of that next month, and I wore them constantly. I mean, because and I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. They were so comfortable.
Yeah, hideous but comfy.
Hideous and so comfortable. And we were I was on the road that summer, and we would have pre-show meet and greets where people would take a photograph with the band, and there's a lot of, I'm wearing like shirts and a T-shirt and Crocs. And I was actually at the airport I was at the Nashville airport leaving town, and a guy comes up. He's like, "Oh, Steve, love the band." So he goes, "What's with the Crocs, man? Why are you always wearing these Crocs?"
That's your signature look.
And he was like, and then this guy told me, he said, "Oh, there's like message board threads about it. It's so weird."
Gosh, that's funny.
And I said, my kids got me these for Father's Day, and he goes, "Oh, okay, sorry."
Yeah, you gotta wear them, man.
I'm like, yeah, piss off, dude. I got my kids are 6 and 4, and they got me these, so I'm gonna wear them. By God.
I think I used to lie about that. I'd be like, if somebody called me out on something particularly weird I was wearing or doing, I would just attribute. Well, my kids.
It's for world hunger.
Yeah,
that's
right. I'm just
statement.
Right. Save the bees.
Think of the children.
They could have got you like orange snakeskin cowboy boots or something.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse because at least they were comfortable. Also on the list, self-care things like a massage. I am always open to a massage. Yeah,
that's
free.
I feel like we've made that leap. My dad would be like, "What are you talking about? That's illegal, Brian." I'm like, "No, Dad, not a happy ending, just an actual massage." But you can get this dad a massage, by the way. I don't know why I don't ever do it, because I've done it 5 times in my life, and then I'm going to buy a membership on the way out. I'm like, well, next time I'll just buy it online, because who doesn't love a massage?
The 8% of dads polled said they do like to get flowers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who doesn't like to get flowers?
I enjoy flowers when they're in the home, but I don't think I've ever received them as a gift.
I would say, don't waste the money on the flowers. Let's go do something, let's go get some chow or something like that. I'm not probably going to get the value out of them that, say, Mom might. But, I'm not going to poo-poo them. Sure, flowers, why not?
10% of dads say they would like a social media post, a tribute. And 50% of dads said that means literally nothing.
Yeah. No.
I would never think twice I would never even think to look for it from my kid. And my kids are on social media, but neither one of them's on a lot. They're sparse. They used to probably do it a lot more. I would never think about us not getting. I mean, it's Father's Day. They better put a picture of me up. That would be nuts. I'm bad at it. My daughter's birthday, as I mentioned yesterday, was yesterday, and I was thinking about it all day. Spoke to her a few times the whole day, and then I got up this morning. I was like, I didn't put a picture of her up. I usually post on Instagram for the kids' birthdays. Yeah, and so I was like, oh God, but I thought, I'll do that. I mean, it is because that does matter to me. But the reverse, like my birthday and Father's Day, I'm like, great, just call in and say, hey, what's up?
Right. Yeah.
Just give me a high five.
I'm not going to see it myself if it's a social media post, probably, that they put up. So, not required. And I'm also, not big on the present thing, but then they always get a little bothered by that because at that point, they've usually probably purchased something and like, what do you mean you don't want anything?
You don't need anything.
I'm like, no, we're good. Let's just hang out. And they're like, we'd rather buy you something than hang out with you.
No kidding.
Here's some gum.
I do have a story about Roger Daltrey, but first I forgot to mention we would love to send you to see Motley Crue at the Louder Than Life Festival this fall. One winner is going to score a trip for two to Louisville, Kentucky for Louder Than Life 2024, featuring 4 days of rock with Motley Crue and a whole lot of other bands. Text the national keyword crew to 95819 right now to enter for a chance to win. Okay, Roger Daltrey, he of The Who. He kind of a surly fella at times, comes off a little prickly. Little testy around the edges.
The last Who show I was at, there was someone smoking down. I'm assuming it was pot, probably, down there near the front row. And stopped the show. And I said, hey, listen, I can't do it. My throat will be down. Unless you want the show to be over. Yeah, he was. And Pete Townsend was like, you're supposed to eat it. Eat the pot. Don't smoke it. But he said just a little bit of smoke at the Excel Energy Center, of all places, and he'd immediately lose his voice. So I give him a little leadway on that.
At this point, he's pushing 80, and he still goes up there, and he is. I mean, I don't besmirch his effort at all. He still goes for it. He still cares. He really does give it his all. But the newest one, I just saw this. I want to get your thoughts. In an interview, he said he really hates when fans check set lists online before seeing the gig.
Why?
He said there's no surprises left with concerts these days because everybody wants to see the set list ahead of time. I'm effing sick of it.
Well, first of all, you're talking about, let's say 20,000 people, Raj. I'm just going with a nice round number there. There's probably about 20 people that are checking the set list.
My thoughts exactly. The average person that's seeing the Who, you're not a lot of college kids going to see the Who.
Who's checking the set list?
You'll see them. Yeah. But for every kid whose dad or granddad love the Who and they love them too, there's 7 or 8 people that are just that's a lot of the people that go see the Who. They only go to 3 or 4 shows every year. They they wait for the big ones, the tent poles, and I mean that's any classic band like that.
Right.
You're not talking about people who go see 100 shows a year, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily checking the set list. I don't think. He said, the internet has ruined live shows for me.
What?
I can't stand it. People forget about surprises. Well,
surprises, first of all. Secondly, I mean, no one's memorizing this. I mean, sure, I've checked set list before. I'm like, oh, look, Bruce is playing Jungle Land. That's kind of cool, whatever. But, I mean, the super fans that are checking the set list, memorizing the set list, what are they doing in Chicago?
Yeah.
What did they just do in Milwaukee? What's he going to do here? You're talking about a small percentage, Raj. Probably nothing to get worked up over.
Now, to be fair, I did not hear this interview. I was reading it. I mean, he might have been laughing as he said these things, but I don't think he was. He strikes me as pretty dead on the money. It was suggested to him, well, some fans just want to know when they can go to the bathroom without missing one of their favorite songs. And his response was, he said, well, just start listening to the bloody show in the toilet then. I mean, okay, get it. That is kind of funny. But And I'm a little. I saw the Who a few times in 2000. We were on the road with Jimmy Page, and we were doing a joint tour. Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes one night, the Who the next. It was like a combined tour.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 different nights, but the same venue, same production, and you could buy a ticket for one night or the second, or a reduced price for both. It was a totally cool package tour over 2 nights. And so on a few of our nights off, I went and watched the Who, and then I'd seen them, but I've seen them before and since a few times. And I mean, and he is always great. I mean, he does not phone in one moment of a show.
No.
He's still up there, and I give him credit for that. I had a run-in with him, however, with Roger Daltrey in 2004. So this was, and I mean like a legit like argument with the man, which is just hilarious because I'm like, what am I doing arguing with Roger Daltrey? Not only was I arguing with him, it was at his event. So he has hosted these shows in London for years, every spring for the Teenage Cancer Trust. They raise millions of pounds for research and treatment for teenage cancer. It's a great, great thing. And every year it's like a full week of shows or 5 nights of shows at the Royal Albert Hall, this really prestigious venue. And they get everybody to play. I mean, there's no artist too big to play it. Everybody plays it eventually. So in 2004, in the middle of my year spent touring with my friend Stereophonics, a Welsh band, they were going to play at the Queen's, at the King's, the whatever it's called, the Cancer Trust. And so I said, I was excited. I was like, this will be fun. So I get to the gig, and before the Stereophonics set, Roger is going to go out and play. And so Kelly Jones, the singer in Stereophonics, Paul Weller, who was in the Jam and the Style Council, and then as a solo star is as big in England as anybody. He's got fans in the States, but he's an arena megastar in England. So Kelly Jones and Paul Weller and Noel Gallagher of Oasis are going to go up with Roger Daltrey. 3 guys with acoustic guitars are going to sit, and Roger's going to stand, and they're going to sing Magic Bus. So they have 3 stools for the guys to sit with their acoustic guitars, and then Roger's kind of standing in between them, and they're doing Magic Bus, which is you think about that rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so as they're walking out on stage, like they're literally about to go, and Kelly looks at me and goes, "Hey, we'll never be able to stay in time with each other. Come play tambourine to help us out." And I said, sure. And I grab a tambourine and I just walk out with them.
Yeah.
And so, and I mean, Daltrey's, I'm sure, like, he's probably looked at me like, who the hell's this guy? You know, but, and so they start, whoever starts playing. And right away, I realized this was a good idea because you have 3 different guys whose right hand on that acoustic guitar part hears it differently. Like, they're just not in sync. And so I just wait a second, and they're kind of looking at each other like, hey, who's going to lead this?
Plus, the Magic Bus has that little, isn't it? Is that a tambourine?
It's a herky-jerky thing. Well, there's like, there's percussion.
Right.
But so I just start hitting a little so everybody can hear it. And the 3 guys on guitar all immediately look back like, oh, thank God, thank you. Well, Daltrey is hearing the whole thing in the way he hears it, and he's looking at me, and he's pointing at me and doing something with his hand, and I don't know if he's saying slow up, speed down, or anything, but it's an acoustic performance. He could literally put the mic away and say, do this with. He could just tell me what he wants. Yeah. I'd be happy to give it to him. And he just said, and he just goes, what was that? And I at first I thought he was kind of kidding. So I said, sorry, I just thought somebody should save that whatever I call something. And he literally, then I realized, he's actually angry. And that guy showed his fangs at me like, do you want to go? It sort of looked like, and I was like,
can he reach your face with his fist?
He would need a running start. But I wasn't involved enough. I didn't care enough. But I literally had that moment where I went, oh my God, Roger Daltrey wants to punch me right in the mouth. And I'm like, this will be an amazing story one day. Because I'm just like, I'm not going to get into an argument with Roger Daltrey. And then he said something else, and I finally went, hey man, blah, blah. I said, let me tell you something. I've seen you on stage moving your body. If that's rhythm, then you got to, And all of a sudden it was, and then Kelly looks at me like,
what's on,
dude? What are you? And I'm like, yeah, what am I doing? Why?
Don't back sass Raj.
I sit here. I'm in my mind. I'm like, I'm not going to get involved, and then I get very involved, and then I got completely uninvolved, and it was over, and it blew up. But then, like for the rest of the night, like Kelly and then Noel and different guys would come up, and they'd be like, That was close. I'm like, yeah, I kind of thought it was close. They're like, he was pissed. He's mad about something, and he decided it was all your fault. I was like, yeah, wow. So anyway, the lesson is, and by the way, Keith Moon learned that. Daltrey used to just knocked him out, man. Cold.
Yes, that's right. He tells the story.
Bitch slap you in a split second. He grew up he's a tough man. He was in he grew up on the streets, man, Shepherd's Bush.
That's what he'll say. Yeah, that's
man,
what you hear.
He's a hard case.
Well,
so,
scrapper.
Hey, God bless him. He's still rocking it at this age. All right, how about we look back? Sports. June 11th, 1997, the flu game during the NBA Finals. Game 5, Utah and Chicago Bulls. The series is 2 games apiece. It's in Utah. And in the second quarter, the Jazz are up 16 points and looks like they've got the game in hand. Michael Jordan was dehydrated. He was exhausted. He was dealing with tremendous nausea. He had a 103-degree temperature. He had the flu. But in the fourth quarter, he just flipped that switch like the great ones do, went berserk, scored 15 of his team's 23 points. He finished with 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. They got the win. Very famously helped off the court by Scottie Pippen. Like, he was so tired he could barely walk. A photograph of Pippen taking him to the sideline, arguably one of the 5 most famous images in basketball history.
Oh, yeah.
Went down in history as the flu game. But wait, there's more. Years later, as we're all watching the MJ documentary last year, the whole story comes out. No, Tim Grover, Michael's former personal trainer, says, no, the night before we ordered a pizza, a bunch of guys show up to deliver it. 5 different guys came because they knew they were bringing it to the Bulls Hotel in Salt Lake. They wanted to see Mike. I said, the trainer goes, I had a bad feeling about it. I don't know. None of us ate any of it except for Michael. He was starving. He ate a pizza. 2 a.m., Michael calls me and says, hey, I'm sick. We're looking at him. Food poisoning was the assessment from day one, but they didn't want to say it was food poisoning. Yeah. They said he had the flu.
Yeah, somebody put some eye drops, some Visine on that pizza because nobody gets food poisoning from a pizza that's just been cooked and delivered. It wasn't sitting out, and he's in enemy territory.
Of course, there were also people who go, well, if I know Mike, he was just hungover. I mean, he probably hadn't slept. Well. But you know what? Regardless, again, 38-7-5. He's still Michael Jordan.
Boom.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.